What up, YouTube? Back with another one. Yep. Back with another one, yes, sir. So, we got us another state trying to do that blue state thing they do all the time, trying to fight ICE to stay out of their place and let these illegal immigrants, criminal at that, get away with whatever they want. But you know, it's something a little different about this. This ain't like the Minnesota. Mm-mm. The sheriffs is trying to fight back. They like, look, they said don't do it. We not listening to them. The governor, he said it off. The sheriffs is fighting back. They like, nah, we not doing that. We not having that. We definitely sticking to the script. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Kudos off to the sheriffs in Maryland. Because they said they ain't having it. Yeah. All these blue states steady trying to say the immigrants. But that's because that's for the vote. They want the vote. They want them votes. And so they fighting hard to keep the new Democratic Party alive, I guess. But oh no, the sheriffs, they fighting back. And I like it. About time somebody stood up to one of them demoncrats. But oh yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and share as well. And without further ado, let's get to it. Oh, shouts out to my man Paralegal Institute. He a good one. Check his page out. He a good one. Yes, sir. So without further ado, let's get it cracking.
Country is probably get that person out of the country, right? So that's what the sheriffs want to be able to do. But now the Maryland lawmakers have passed a law signed by the governor, Wes Moore, who you're seeing on your screen, making it much more difficult for the sheriff to cooperate with ICE. But y'all, the sheriffs are not taking this lying down. They are actually coming out outwardly revolting and saying we're still going to work with ICE anyway, y'all. So this is shaping up to be yet another blue state law enforcement versus governor, law enforcement versus mayor type of situation. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it.
The abolishment of the 287G program is not the abolishment of ICE. They're going nowhere. In fact, they're going to intensify their efforts. We warned them this was going to happen, and it's going to happen.
A warning on Wednesday, issued by sheriffs from the 9 Maryland counties forced to end active partnerships with ICE under new state law.
This is the biggest betrayal to law enforcement and public safety that I have ever seen. There will be people missed.
He warned you before kidney failure. Here are the 3 signs most people miss as a nephrologist who receives these every single day. Red flag.
And public safety that I have ever seen. There will be people missed. And that is my concern, to be people missed and who will be re-released into our communities who pose a threat.
The legislation, signed by the governor Tuesday, abolishes 287G agreements with ICE.
It says that in Maryland, we defend constitutional rights and we defend constitutional policing.
Here on Wednesday, the sheriff sat down to talk next steps and decided it won't be a court battle.
Even if it's not formal, even if the MOUs are banned, we go forward with our federal partners in Immigration and Customs Enforcement, doing the will of not just public safety, but also the will of the Maryland people.
Baltimore's ICE Field Office Director and the HSI Special Agent in charge both had seats at the table, but declined to talk to us on camera. The Wycomico sheriff said he just talked to the feds and said this.
Mark my word, you will see a dramatic increase in the presence of ICE in the state.
Now the sheriffs are coming out and outright saying that they are not going to comply with these directives, at least not the way that the lawmakers want them to. They're looking for workarounds. They talked about even filing a lawsuit, y'all. That's kind of in limbo as to whether or not they're going to take all of this to court. But they are saying they're going to continue to work with ICE however they can while they figure out next steps. So again, y'all, the sheriffs are in what I would call pretty open revolt.
I did explicitly say that no politician is going to tell me that I can't communicate with another law enforcement agency on matters of public public safety in my community. I think it's a shame that the governor is signing legislation like that, and I've had many conversations with the governor. He knows better. He knows this is not about public safety, it's about politics.
Carroll County Sheriff Jim DeWeese calls the move to ban 287G agreements in Maryland short-sighted.
Annapolis is very popular for creating legislation and ramming it down everyone's throats and realizing that they screwed up the legislation and coming back and trying to fix it because they don't think it's through.
His department joined under a new model last March, made available as the Trump administration expanded its deportation efforts called the Warrant Services Officer. 6 other jurisdictions in Maryland also joined it within the last year. 9 total participate in 287G. Under it, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office could serve an active administrative warrant on behalf of ICE or alert the agency about an undocumented immigrant with a deportation detainer if they were in their custody. DeWeese says despite the ban on the program, they'll continue to work with the agency in a similar capacity.
I don't know, I've seen this before where the sheriffs, where the local law enforcement just comes out and says plainly that we are going to continue to do the thing that the legislature and the governor just told us not to do. But they have taken official steps to wind down some of their ICE cooperation. So it seems like they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, they have an oath to protect the community, and on the other hand, the politicians are telling them not to protect the community, but to bend to the political will, to the political winds, if you will.
Meanwhile, Sheriff Chuck Jenkins in Frederick County, whose department has one of the longest-standing 287G programs in the country, has suggested challenging it in court.
I'm willing to fight that fight because I know this program has kept my county safe.
Critics say any further steps to limit law enforcement communication with ICE would only lead to federal blowback and more, not less ICE operations on the streets. Blair Sable, WMAR TV.
Now, some people have said that Governor Wes Moore is a future presidential candidate, hopeful, and I think you can look at all of this in light of that. I'll be honest, y'all, when I heard about him signing this legislation, to me it made him look weak, y'all. It made him look like a follower. It made him look like he's just following what all of the other governors are doing, all of the other mayors are doing. This is not a new solution. This is not a novel solution. This is not the type of solution that finds a way to bridge the gap between this side and that side. This is not something that all parties can look at and say, okay, this is a compromise that we can all live with and work with. Instead, this is just following along with what other blue states and other blue cities have done. And so I would say on that end, it's disappointing, but it's not surprising because at this time we're not seeing a lot of new bridge building types of ideas come out of either side for that matter. So what do you think? Do you agree with the reduction in cooperation with ICE as we're seeing in Maryland, as we're seeing in Minnesota, as we're seeing in the city of Chicago, Massachusetts? It's been happening across the country at this point. Or do you think that the authorities have a responsibility to try to get violent people, criminals who are in the country without permission, to try to get them out of the country so that they won't further victimize people here?
Maryland, y'all governor is just following suit like all these other blue cities. But I like how the police is like, nah, we ain't doing that. Somebody got to stand for something, or if not, they gonna fall for anything, you know? And like I say, I ain't even the one to be dealing with the police, you know what I'm saying? We don't do 12. But damn it, they doing a good deed by doing this. We gotta get them out of here, y'all. And the only reason the Democrats want to keep them is so they can just blindly vote for them, put them back in power. Because if they get back in power, oh, it's going to be over with. It's going to be looking like New York. It's going to be looking like Minnesota. You see how them cities is looking? They practically tearing them down from the inside out up in them places, man. And we don't need America looking like that, sir. So, yeah. And the FBAs is most definitely sending it out. So, y'all take that with what y'all will. The police even getting tired of them. The demoncrats, they even getting tired of the demoncrats. But I have more for you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I'm out.